Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So, last time the trial came to an end, but I think our defendant, he's a bad guy, which is unique. Now, mind you, we accomplished our goal, meaning that we should be able to stay a lawyer in Britain here. But let's see what happens. That certainly was a long trial. Actually, it was about comparative to the others, which is strange because I would have thought it would have gone on a bit longer, actually. Yes, it was. Your first ever trial on foreign soil, and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance. My heartfelt congratulations. And to you, Miss Sasato. Thank you for your assistance. I suppose we should be happy. The trouble is, we're still completely in the dark about what actually happened. Well, we didn't have enough time. But isn't it wrong? I mean, who was actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that. The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant. You carried out your duty to perfection. Hi, that you did. Mr. McGill did. Oh, and that girl is with him, too. Well, it seems the stories are true. Oh, what stories? About the 6 enormous fireworks they do be letting off when there's a verdict of not guilty. I'm sure yous must have seen them now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say? Yes, definitely. I'd heard it was a sight to behold, and to be sure it was. And I've you to thank, I suppose, for having an opportunity to see it. Ha 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 ha! I don't know about that. I'm not sure I really did anything. Oh, what on earth are you saying, fella? How did I walk out of there free man, then? I don't think it was so much thanks to me as down to your planning. You're a straight-talking fella, aren't you? I must say, you had me astray in the head there once or twice. But you're young and headstrong. Ha ha ha! Ah, 'tis water under the bridge. Congratulations, Mr. McGilded, on having your name cleared. But nothing's resolved. Oh, there's only one thing that matters to me. Huh? Aye. Money? Oh, they've all seen that I didn't do the odious and abstinent deed. 'Tis grand, is it not? I suppose it is. Now the fine fellows of Scotland Yard can take matters in hand and sort out any wee details. Oh, they'll see it for what it is. They'll get the truth. I've absolute faith in them, so I have. After all, I do be providing a good number of their wages for all the taxes I pay. Ha ha ha! It's not that funny. So then, as we agreed aforehand, 1,000 guineas for your trouble, fella. Oh, no, I couldn't possibly accept that much. I be whist. You're a humble people, are ye? You from the east? Well, if ye insist. We have this, still and all. You deserve our reward.
Mr. Magnus McGilded?
Oh? Ignore that.
Everything is ready, sir, if you'd follow me into the courtroom.
Into the courtroom? Oh, what's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe.
I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule.
Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. Sorry? What inspection? Well, they're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. They're going to examine it again? Now? Well, naturally, I'm under no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now. But as an upstanding member of London society, I do be doing my best to help where I can. 'Tis a gentleman's duty, so it is. So then, fare thee well. 'Twas an absolute pleasure meeting yous. I hope you have a whale of a time while you're studying here in Great Britain. We're not done with him. We're going to go to the next trial, and he's going to be back. I'm calling it now. And there he goes. A free man. Oh, I forgot she was here, too. Don't. No, stop. That's illegal to do in here. Please don't do that. Please. Don't move. Whereas I want to say, get a move on. She really does take forever to load that thing. Miss Lestrade, would you mind putting that thing down? You're a grown-up. Sorry? And I hate all grown-ups. Jeez. You must eat a lot then. There you are. Who's this? Oh, frick! There she is. Naughty, naughty, running off like that. Is this some kind of a picnic? Who's this sassy lost child? And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Ha! Oh my god, do they work together? Oh my god. What the frick? Oh, do you want to play? You won't beat me? Excuse me, but who are you? I know who you are. Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine. The inventor? Well, normal smoke grenades are so dull, don't you agree? White, white, and more white. If you have to be shrouded in smoke, it could at least be a pretty color, I thought to myself. Do we have to be shrouded in smoke, though? At all? I just took my eyes off it for a moment whilst I was changing onto a different omnibus, and she pinched it. Luckily, I fitted it with a telegraphic beacon. What? I have no idea what this girl's talking about. Anyway, you're coming with me now, back to my laboratory. What? What for? To apologize, of course, silly. To my technician. What? You mean, say sorry? You must say sorry when you've done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before. Oh, an adult? I don't listen to no adult. Just pulls out a rocket launcher. Come along then, follow me. Fine, have it your way. Oh good, you see, I knew you'd want to do the right thing in the end. I'm fairly sure that what she wants is not to get shot by that massive gun of yours. We'll be leaving now then. Bye-bye. I'm so sorry for all the fuss. Oh, we'll be seeing more of you. She was a lively one. I have no comments on what just happened. Well, do you think we perhaps ought to be on our way now too? Yeah, you're right, but where to? Oh, we haven't had time to find a place to stay. No sooner had we arrived in London than we had to rush here. All our traveling cases are still with the bailiff. I was originally planning to spend today in search of lodgings, but at this late hour in the day, I'm afraid we may be out of luck. Don't worry, though. I have a plan. If worse comes to worse, I've heard of a lovely park where we could spend the night. Please tell me you're not thinking of McGilded Park. I know it may be a little chilly at this time of year, but our youthfulness will see us through. I'm not sure about that. I think a midwinter London night will freeze a young person solid just as easily as an elderly one. Oh dear, that doesn't sound agreeable. I'm starting to regret turning Mr. McGilded down. 1,000 guineas would have paid for a lovely warm room. Or a mansion. And we could have just sold the house back. And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of our first day in London. However, as we were soon to learn, there were more trying times ahead. I mean, of course, you're in murder world, buddy. Just as the Reaper of the Bailey had warned, the case was far from over. I swear to God, if it's like part 2 immediately. What?
What's going on? Get the fire brigade! Water! Bring water, quick!
Really?
What? How did this happen? I don't know. No, sir. By the time I got here, it was already engulfed.
No one was supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating.
What?
No. Oh, good God. There's someone in there.
Oh no, not Judge!
This can't be.
Jeez. We're going picking right back up off from the last one, aren't we? Probably. The Realm of the Reaper. Jeez. Okay. Didn't expect that. The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. Kokoro means heart. My Kokoro secret. Oh, I'm like, do I want to keep looking? But no, it's fine. Okay, The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. Be still, my clouded Kokoro.
I begin to think, Wilson, said Sholmes, turning his head languidly in my direction, that there is more to this case than that which we have observed.
As there always is.
Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that snowy evening. To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
Okay. Well, we're back here. At least we don't have to plead our case, right? We did what he asked. Did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruhodo? No, not at all. It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms were so luxurious, I felt like we were staying in a palace. And with all the gas lights twinkling, it was brighter than the day, even in the middle of the night. What about the enormous beds? After my time on the SS Buria, I wasn't going to waste a single inch of that space. I spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other. Oh yes, it really was the sort of night you can only dream of normally. Except, when I learned that we owed £3 for the rooms, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare. Oops! Sorry about that. The building was so impressive and the entrance was so inviting, I just wandered in without thinking. In a lodging house in Japan, that sum of money would put a roof over your head for a whole year. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill. Ugh, I really am sorry. Well, never mind. We must find some more affordable lodgings straight away, though. If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days or less. London is a scary place. It's true. I've been to London. Why is everything so expensive there?
Good morning to you at this early hour.
Oh, yes, well. Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. We have come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday. Sasato-san is amazing. She doesn't bat an eyelid even in the presence of the imposing Lord Strongheart.
Yes, I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation to British courtroom practices.
Oh, yes, it was very eye-opening, thank you. And so, in accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Naruhodo performed his duty to the end.
Yes, I've already been apprised of the events. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed.
Oh,
No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern land.
thank you very much. So I'm a lawyer now.
Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like you to take it on at once. I trust that won't be a problem.
Another case? Already?
Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. I'm sure I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I?
It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it.
What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. What more were you hoping for?
Oh no, justice or some shit.
When it is not at all in the present time when established by the court, consequently, the jury will not be required to prefer judgment.
Well, Lord Van Zykes, it's been a real pleasure, so it has, and as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. Hee 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 hee. Ho ho! Wah ha ha! Woohoo! Wee hee! Yahoo! Woo woo woo! His memory's not that great. I just can't help wondering if Mr. McGilded really was innocent. Mr. Naruhodo. Well, just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial ended.
Well, you needn't let it trouble you for a second longer because he's back on trial?
Sorry? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
Whoa! Oh, whoa! What? I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be that he would be back and we'd do another trial with him. Magnus McGilded passed away immediately following the trial.
No! What? But Mr. McGilded is dead?
All the birds. I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. Time enough to talk.
Oh, good. Do you want to see something cool? Check this out. Lord Strongheart, may I show you this? No, it's gonna be the same one to. Oh yeah. No, he doesn't. He doesn't want to see my cool armband. Sorry. No. Okay. Instead, converse. Yeah. Tell me about his death. I don't understand. What happened? How can he be dead?
After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. As you'll presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom.
Yes, of course. That was the scene of the crime which Mr. McGilded had been accused of.
Precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames.
No. How could such a thing have happened?
That is being investigated as we speak, but already. The police have identified a corpse found inside the charred shell of the carriage as that of McGilded.
That's awful!
The man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere.
That bailiff really needs to pay more attention. And how could that have happened?
That is also being investigated as we speak.
Thinking back now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGilded did mention going back to the courtroom to look at the omnibus. Well, I must be making tracks now. It is time for the inspection. Sorry, what inspection? Yeah. They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself.
An inspection of the omnibus? Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage.
But then who was Mr. McGilded talking about?
Never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation. This matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police.
Poor Mr. McGilded. Tell me about British court.
So, how did you find your first taste of our country's Supreme Court?
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it was... Wow. Mr. Naruhodo means that the whole experience was steeped in the solemnity of Great Britain's long history. It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old. Wow, Sasato-san is such a way with words. And you seem to have a way of failing to find the right ones. Yeah, can you read my mind? Judicial, that's a tough word to say.
The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can.
The most advanced in the world, is it? I mean, you got clocks, I guess.
It was fortunate that your very first trial was a simple affair.
Simple? That was simple?
As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose.
Was he a part of it? I don't mean to be contrary, Lord Strongheart, but the case was anything but simple. The circumstances of the case were so incriminating. I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict. Is something funny?
No, my apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve. And that can only be attributed to exceptional talent. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, never mind. You exceeded my expectations, I freely admit. That much at least is an undeniable truth, which is precisely why I prepared the new case for you that I mentioned before.
What's going on? What was he going to say before? Well, why he got the giggles? Could you perhaps give us some more details about the new case you mentioned? Don't tell me it's a murder and the trial starts in 10 minutes.
Don't worry, it's nothing so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment. In fact, this case is completely different.
Oh, I see. Did he just read my mind? Have I been saying everything in my mind out loud?
Oh, no. That is to say, no one has died. As yet.
Yeah, that's it. That's Ace Attorney. Always a death.
The trial will not be today. There is plenty of time to research the case thoroughly. 23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise.
So the trial's tomorrow, then. Is everything all right? Oh, yes. Just a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's trial was... well, it's left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. I don't know if I could face standing in the courtroom again after Mr. McGilded's trial.
Yes, I nearly forgot. There is one similarity with yesterday's case. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense.
Oh.
If the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. And if that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome.
The most terrible end awaits the defendant.
Yes, that's right.
Here we go again.
Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me. I would advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking. There is now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits.
Last time he mentioned in 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time.
And on one more thing, Mr. Naruhodo, there's something I should like to ask you.
Oh, what's that?
Yesterday you remarked upon something. That you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asogi.
Yeah?
I would be interested to hear what exactly you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds.
Oh, well, Kazuma always used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn how the greatest justice system in the world worked so he could change ours in Japan. Now that he's gone, I'd like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing.
Oh. Another thing? Continue.
On the way here, on the steamship, he said something to me.
Something very important I have to do. Something very important? And what exactly would that be?
He never had a chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done if he'd ever made it to Great Britain.
You're out of time. Well, thank you for an enlightening discussion.
Mr. Naruhodo, what's this all about? Mr. Sogi never once mentioned anything of the sort to me.
I urge you both to focus your attentions on the matter at hand. I've taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case.
Look at this bird-like fella. Look at this Watson. Does he have frickin' chips? He's got some chips. Binley Mega Chippy?
He'll be able to apprise you of the details.
How long has he been there? My man's got chips.
So I wish you the best of luck and bid you farewell.
There's something very important that I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what did you mean? So someone pointed out, and I really like the detail, and this is something only in the English version, which is kind of cool. If they use Mr., they're speaking English. If they use Sama, San, any of that, they're speaking Japanese. That's a really nice detail. I wish I knew. But honestly, he never told me. Anyway, we better talk to the detective, don't you think? Yes, you're right. I hope I'm just imagining it, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. Why's my man just got the chips? I mean, to be fair, that's a mood. Is that fish too? Unlimited fish and chips. How he do that? I had fish and chips in London in the newspaper, and let me tell you, it was outstanding. I also gained a newfound appreciation for the mushy peas that they come with. Could we? I'm sorry, I'm hypnotized by this man's unending fish and chips, and his little. Right? It's I can't stop looking at it. I have to look away. Could we trouble you? What do you think? Yeah,
Lovely weather, isn't it?
what's the weather got to do with anything? I don't know what voice to give him, really. Listen to me. Oh, no, he's more stern. Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English gent eaten out of your hand, you know.
But Sasada-san told me it was foolproof.
I'm a busy man. There's a crime scene to investigate, but I'm here to give the likes of you a talking to. Oh, I'm ever so sorry. Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying, Haven't seen Gregson anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. And then all because of some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from a country I've never even heard. You've never heard of Japan? Hear that ripping sound? That's the reputation at the yard going to... My reputation at the yard going to tatters.
There's no need to rip us apart as well.
I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer. He's gonna butcher this name. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. Oh, is my man not used to the females? It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it?
It's unseasonably fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine.
Unbelievable! How did she pull that off?
So, Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard.
Gregson? Inspector Gregson. What's the matter with Sasato-san?
Does the detective's name mean something to her?
He's such a good design. He's a little goofy fella. Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson?
You're acting like you know this man, Mr. Sato, but he's a London detective.
Oh, I do know him very well, in fact.
Very well?
Yes, he features prominently in the Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes.
Oh, in that publication. What's it called again? Rance magazine?
That's right, Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry. And I also ship them.
Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible. Well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time.
Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Mr. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot, is the pick of a bad lot of all the Scotland Yarders. Those were his words.
That's his highest praise?
Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see.
That he is not. And thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now.
That's great, isn't it?
Huh. I have to admit that to start with, I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof.
Well, that's wonderful.
No, it's not. There's nothing more sinister than the man on the street. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure.
Rumors? Are you quite sure?
He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone to his head, stuff like that.
Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you?
Like I said, they whisper, so I can't catch exactly what they're saying, but I know what folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying, as sure as eggs is eggs.
Well, eggs are eggs.
I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work.
Oh dear, perhaps a sudden rise to fame does change people.
Oh, I was gonna present him my stuff. The case.
So, about the case the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before.
Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned at the yard, it couldn't be simpler.
Oh dear, that probably means that as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated.
I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right. A young woman was walking along the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in the hospital unconscious.
That's despicable. What sort of coward would attack the poor woman from behind?
Suppose you would have finished whoever it was off with a Sasato takedown, would you?
That is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo.
Brace yourself, Rinosuke. You've angered her now. Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. So there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit.
Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question?
Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one. Sorry? There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now.
Why ever not?
Simple. The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Barrick von Sykes.
Yeah, we beat him once, but...
No! Sounds like you've heard of him, then.
Oh, yes, we were very familiar with Lord Van Sykes. Believed to be the harbinger of death itself.
The Reaper of the Bailey. Tell me more about him.
Lord Barrick von Sykes, who we faced in court only yesterday. Mr. McGilded told us about him before the trial, didn't he? When when Van Sykes stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. He's so much cooler with the cape. And in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. I was gonna say that's not the case, but our dude died directly after. This Reaper of the Bailey nickname, I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty, is that it? Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zykes, Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty. And what of it? Oh, well, I think that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant. No, you really don't have a clue, do you? What do you mean? You put that in your pocket. What happened to that bloke in the end, eh? He's dead. Ah! Magnus McGilded came up a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. So you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, can you? What are you saying? Look, if Van Zykes could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles. He works magic. Black magic. I'd have a good long think about that if I were you. Are we really supposed to believe that? Alright, well, I've filled you in as requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. So I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there. It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place. That's correct, ma'am. And if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself. You've branded him a criminal already? He's as good as. Shaking like a leaf in his cell, he is. It'll give you a chuckle if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way. Inmate 53, thank you. That's a lot. A big number, actually, for what I would... Well, I guess in London it wouldn't be too crazy. There's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo? To tell the truth, when I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage, too. But if the man they've arrested is innocent... You could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny. So, if I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. And I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try, so I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help? Did you really think you have to ask? After all, I am your judicial assistant. Thank you. So then, shall we? Yes! Let's go! Well, I'm going to start by going to the prison. Let's see what's there first. Oh, frick. Okay, I don't know. In my brain, I expected the holding cells of the modern Ace Attorney world. Nice, brightly lit dude in the corner. Not, the actual jail cell that, Edmond Dantes is locked up in, going nuts. Okay. So these are British prison cells. Oh, they're ghastly. It feels just like a dungeon. Yeah, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls. Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo, you're making it seem worse. That's pretty rough. Apparently our client is in this cell here. But it's so dark in the back there, I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like.
Inmate 53, your legal representative is here to see you. Stop by into the back of the cell and show your face at once.
Am I a cat?
as yet with no name. Calling me by a number, it's utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer. I have no idea who this guy looks like. Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think is going on here? I have no idea. But I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese. look at his big ol' eyes. Oh, that's good. Hello? You got crazy eyebrows, sir. Excuse me, but who? Shh! Quiet! What are you doing? They're all around, hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening. Even now, I can sense it. Right. So, could I ask you who exactly— There you are. You've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it. You're a ghost. A ghost? Oh, my man's tweaking. We mean you no harm, prisoner-san. Are you Japanese by any chance? Oh, his eyes unclouded. This is beyond my wildest dreams. Is he just gonna be a weeb? That'd be really funny. Forgive me for that outburst before. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all. Imagine it! It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and yet here I am, in a frightful fix in a foreign land. So hearing those streets, sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice here in this damp, dark hellhole was a most monumentally moving moment. You're weird, buddy. You're very strange. Who could have guessed that this new client Lord Strongheart assigned to us would turn out to be a fellow Japanese? What compassion my fellow countrymen show to dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. Noble, nurturing, never-failing Nippon! A first-class lawyer? Oh dear, I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here. I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened? Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example? Yes, I can, I will! Shan't stay sullen and silent! Is he making Japanese characters with his body? I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy. Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I'm a lawyer, as you said. My name is Reinosuke Naruhodo. I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Notably notoriously named Natsume. Soseki Natsume. You don't look like what I would call you don't look like a Japanese student, my good sir. I'm gonna be honest, you don't strike me as it. I can't present it to him. Yes, I can. Yes, the symbol of one of our great empire's first-rate lawyers. Which means, of course, you'll stand by my side, you'll defend me. Oh, no, sorry, that wasn't why I was showing it to you. What is this face? Then why else would you show me that? Oops, in hindsight, that probably wasn't the best idea. I just thought it was cool. Alright, buddy. Soseki Natsume-san? What an unusual— I'm gonna call it now. This dude is white. And he's a weeb. Cause Soseki Natsume, yeah, what an unusual name. Call me Soseki, please. I'm a poet, you see. A writer of haiku— Oh god, yeah, no, he's not a real Japanese. It's something of a nom de plume. A nom de plume? You mean an alias? Feather name. That's right, Naruhodo-san. No, don't be so prosaic. I'm much more refined than that. And haiku, that, well, really reminds me of home.
Did I hear you say that you were a visiting student sent over here by the government?
Yes, that's right. A year ago, I was told to go and study in English. First, I had to suffer that misery, and now this! It's beyond the pale!
Suffer that misery? Did you not want to study here?
No! I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course.
Oh,
Just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean you can do it. No!
what do you mean? Oh, sorry, that was the wrong voice. What do you mean?
If they told me to study English literature, that I could understand. That's my field. But no, they told me to study the English language. Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable.
I see.
Only the other day I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper. Wise words on whitewashy.
Washi means paper. You must be a man of great standing.
Oh yes, so I'm often told.
And often like to be told, it seems. Why does this dude remind me of this dude gives me mad JoJo Part 1 vibes. This guy's Jonathan's dad. Accusation against you. Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Soseki-san?
I didn't do it. I didn't commit that atrocious murder.
Murder?
Oh, no, it's all right. That woman did actually die, did she? The voices, I can hear them, they're everywhere. But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes.
Before your eyes? Or before your eyes, you mean saw the attacker?
I didn't see anyone.
What?
If I'd seen the person who did it. Do you think I'd be locked up in here?
Oh dear, it seems this case is becoming rather complicated.
Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me? It's the curse of London, it's
Is he gonna bring up Jack the Ripper?
incredibly, inexcusably, irritatingly inconvenient.
Is it gonna be Jack the Ripper? Or is that what we're doing? So Soseki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker. It's vital that we find out more about the case. Yeah, tell us what you can, buddy.
It was an accursed evening, just after the snow had started to clear and heavy with fog.
Oh, fog? Yeah, we're doing Jack the Ripper, huh?
I'd been to the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to my cursed lodgings. It was manga, as you would expect.
Sure the bookshop wasn't a curse too?
As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I was to overtake her...
Oh, that's a rotund. That's not the woman I expected. I was thinking she was small and quaint. No, guess not.
She suddenly let out a scream and collapsed under the cold hard slabs of stone at my feet. Oh!
How terrible.
I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard.
Slight exaggeration there, perhaps. Not much of a graveyard for one person who isn't even dead.
I was terrified. I had to get away from there, so I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings.
That's not good.
They'll say it was shameful, I know, to run away like that.
Tell me, Soseki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours?
Don't be ridiculous. Do you think I know any of these fair-haired English? The young woman at that...
How? Buddy, what's your age? What do you got in here? 33? 33? Okay.
I'm diffident, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people.
I see. A young woman unknown to Soseki-san. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anybody pass you?
Regrettably. Apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul.
No one. Oh, great. So the victim was unknown to you, and there was nobody else on the street at the time. That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it? Huh?
A conundrum. conundrum.
What do you mean, Susato-san? What's the conundrum?
Well, if what Saseki-san has told us is true, there's something I can't explain. He says that he didn't know the victim, and that there was no one else at the scene. And that he apparently fled without having been seen.
I did!
But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit.
You!
Okay. Our thoughts are absolutely leaving our head.
What did you say?
Nothing. I didn't say anything. Oops. Perhaps I thought a little too loudly. Boy, you are saying things out loud. Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What I was thinking was, how did Saseki-san actually come to be arrested?
Sorry?
He didn't touch the victim, and there was nobody at the scene to see him. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place?
Oh, yeah, she's right.
Oh, it was him, that accursed great detective. He led the police to me. Of all the bad luck.
A cursed great detective? Could it be...
I shall never forget that man's name as long I live. With his hearty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, big-headed busybody, begone! May you be cursed until the end of your days, Hairlock Sholmes.
I knew it. Of course.
Mr. Sholmes?
Oh boy.
Well, I didn't expect to hear that name for this man's lips, that's for sure.
It was the morning after the nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on a sliver of hard cheese when... I was just eating some cheese when some men suddenly burst in through the door. They started shouting at me. This is the police, put the weapon down. Yes, it was a thin sliver and it was hard, but I wasn't eating a weapon. Disgusting dietary discrimination devils.
You clearly had a trying morning yesterday.
And there he was, in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat. The Hairlock Sholmes!
It's actually just Herlock Sholmes. He's English.
I've since found out that he's a famous name in detection here in London.
Yes, the great detective is really very well known.
And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts, apparently. He thinks I'm the knife-wielding madman, me, the weak, stooped kitten of a man. I'm in the kitty meow meow.
I wonder what great deduction process led him to his conclusion this time.
Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable.
Well, the thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged the way in.
Of course you were. That's only natural.
I was terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing question after question at me in impossible English. Finnish foreign flimflammery.
We are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English.
Good point, but my mind went blank. I knew I'd answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like,
Yes, I do, and I'm fine.
the next thing I knew, I was in manacles. Before I knew it, I was thrown in here.
Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising.
I'm fine. He's not fine now. Oh, bro speaks no English.
Mr. Naruhodo Esquire!
Oh, you can just call me Naruhodo. And when we're speaking English, a simple Mr. is more than enough.
Oh, yes, all right. Yes, they've really got to be. This country is poisoning my mind. My good sir, do you know what it's like to have thoughts on football? But please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you?
Well,
Why is it so hard to say yes to me?
But the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself on a study tour.
Ah, a student.
I've defended a case in the Old Bailey, only the one though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means. Oh, jeez. Oh, Naruhodo-san. I'm not even the foreign student who was supposed to be here. I'm a sort of locum. Yokum? Is that yokum or is it locum? I know Latin, but it means like... Because it's like in locum parenti, that's what we have for teachers, where it's like a teacher, if they're locum parenti, that means that they are like representing teachers, you know? Or parents.
But that armband, that's the mark of a defense lawyer from our great empire.
It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend.
A keepsake. I know exactly what they're saying about me.
Oh, who do you mean?
The lawyers. All the British defense lawyers. They won't defend me.
Goodness, why do you say that?
For the same reason as you noted before. When it happened, there was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit.
It must be very hard for you, Saseki-san.
And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them. Someone not to be trusted. I heard them openly laughing about me before. In my earshot, without any compunction at all. Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said, and of course the foreigner did it. They even had the gall to say the man doesn't understand half of what's being said anyway.
That's awful.
They're wrong. I've studied more English than half the policemen out there on the streets. I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They'll hate me. So at the very least, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue. You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through.
Saseki-san, it's just that... Just that you're tweaking, bro. Give me a little time, please. I'll do what I can, for the time being.
What do you mean?
We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it will give us a much better chance, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. Yes, thank you. I'll be here, all alone, waiting for you. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
We should be going then, Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for.
I'll just be a little kitty meow meow in the corner. Do not mind me. Do not mind me at all.
Alright guys, we're gonna call it here then. The adventure of the Clouded Kokoro will continue next time, guys. We'll see you then for that. Ciao.